down the hammer and pick up the pencil. You're about to listen to the Savvy Radio Show. Learn from real-life real estate investors, experience revealed with the Savvy Landlord as your host.
What's going on, Savvy investors? You tuned in to the to the Savvy Radio Show. This is your friend, Steve VanCauwenbergh, the Savvy Somebody, out there doing it each and every day for real. You know what I'm saying? I act like I'm somebody special, but really not. I'm just like you out there doing it, grinding, hurt, pain, people not paying their rent, questions that need to be answered, how to handle COVID. How do you handle a tenant that their husband died and that was the breadwinner? Do you just kick somebody out? You know, that's just life. This is general, and you just got to keep on rolling and make the best decisions or seek the best decisions to make deals, problems happen. And honestly, I really don't know what the title of the subject of this podcast is. And I know for sure that someone needs to hear what I'm about to drop. I literally just sat down, felt compelled to do a podcast, which is kind of cool because sometimes I don't want to do it. And you got to do the things that you don't want to do. But then there's some sweet times when you do something that you want to do and there's satisfaction in that. And that's what I think you should be doing in your life, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm not saying that you should not do the hard things. The hard things are going to get you to where you need to be. But sometimes you just need to do the things that you don't want to do that could yield the things that you do want to do. And then there's sometimes that you do the things that you want to do and you would be surprised that it may be a return. I always struggled when I DJ'd. I DJ'd almost 1,000 times in my lifetime. Isn't that crazy? I mean, when you think about it, 20 years as a DJ, from house parties to clubs to weddings. And, it always would be like, I'm excited on Monday. I can't wait to rock this party. And then I'm like, man, I don't want to do it. And then you load up the stuff and something goes wrong. You forgot the song, or, you got a flat tire. And then when you get there and people are dancing, it subsides and you're like, I'm glad I did it. That's life in general. So it's never going to be easy. There's never going to be a time that you want to do something, that you want to call a tenant back. You just have to do it. And when you do the things that you don't want to do, you're going to get paid way more. And then there's this glorious times like today. I was just motivated to do a podcast, but I don't even know what I'm going to drop. And I don't even know what I'm going to say. But I hope that this will empower you in some form or fashion. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your encouragement. And, I'm going to leave this earth. And I listened to a Jim Rohn thing the other day that, his satisfaction is that he contributed to your life. And I hope that I'm that person for you. I hope that I contributed to you in some form or fashion. At least it's just to get your ASS off the couch and make that call and do your thing. And that leads me into a friend of mine, which is a really cool guy. Hopefully one day I'll put him on the radio show. And this is a dude I lightly coached way back when, and we could never get traction. This dude and I mean, like, I'd be meeting him. I'd be beating him up on Sunday. It'd be like 6 to 8 o'clock. And I'm like, dude, you got to do this and this. And he was it wasn't a lack of motivation. I think it was fear. And I could, there's a certain point in people, you can't break fear. And so he made a decision and quit his very cushy, phenomenal job. And then is out trying to do it, trying to be in business. And a year has clicked by, and I called this dude back. Now, I haven't coached this dude in a long time. He was just on my mind. I called him, and I'm like, within a 10-minute conversation, got the dude amped up with just simple questions. Why are you looking at this business? Why not look at that business? And homeboy just texted me, well, what do you think of this business? And it was like a business that I have zero interest in. I replied back, which is what he needed to hear. It said, whatever makes money. And he's like, word. And sometimes you just don't know. One thing that you're going to say to somebody can compel them. You could be the catalyst in their life. And that's what you need to be doing. You need to be giving back. So let's start off with number one today. Still don't know what the title of the podcast is. Hopefully by the time I put this in the cloud that there'll be a title, but had to deal with me. Number one, I broke this off yesterday, and this has been on the podcast, but I did it on the book club. If you missed a book club this month in December, I'm doing it every Wednesday. So make sure you tune in Wednesdays at noon Central. You can find it on Facebook or whatever. I probably, and on Meetup, go to Oklahoma City Investor, Book Club, whatever. Number one, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Now, and I know that's in some song somewhere, probably some song from in high school, but I was like, I think we just drift through life. And when I'm reevaluating every single relationship that's in my life, are they a contributor? Are they taking from me? Are they giving towards me? Are they going to propel me to the level of whatever I want to get to? Are they going to bring me to the mountain bike stardom, whatever? Or how they're going to help me fund this deal? Or are they going to help me, walk me through the process of a closing or a new apartment acquisition? And see, the thing is, I think that we are not checking ourselves, because you're going to wreck yourself if you don't check yourself. Are you the same person that you were 3 years ago? Are you where you want to be, where you were before? Are you still hanging out with the same people? And the people that you're hanging out with, are they doing what you want to be doing? I'm telling you, man, I don't know who this is for, but you need to check yourself before you wreck yourself. You're getting too comfortable. Who are you hanging out with? I'm telling you, I just watch people on Facebook, and I even hate this Facebook thing. And, I'm listening to an audiobook right now about food. And, I learned this a long time ago. You go to a restaurant and look at the fat people, and then look at the skinny people, and look how the skinny people eat, right? They slow down. They eat the food. They put it down, right? You are aware, you as a fat person or a skinny person, you're watching the other person. You need to watch your friends. Are they acting in the manner that you want to be? Are they still complaining about this and that 3 years later? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Are you addicted to something like television or a show or a food or even a narcotic, whatever the case may be? Are you in the same position that you were 3 years ago? You can't complain. You've got to get this stuff out of your life. And if this relationships that you're in are causing this in your life, and you're a reflection of your closest 5 friends, you are the net worth. There's an average net worth of if you want to be a millionaire, you should stop hanging out with the people that are complaining, have no assets, don't even know what an asset is, and don't read, okay? Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Your health, the people, are they encouraging you to work out? Are you working out? And then now you can have a workout friend that may not be astute as where you want to be, but do you have financial friends with financial goals? Do you have friends? That's like my thing yesterday on the book club. I was like, who, and it's this gangster. I was like, who has a dream board? And I saw the few people that didn't, and I was like, in my back of my mind, are they the person that I want to be hanging out with? Now, when I come back on the podcast, on the book club, I'm gonna ask them again. Who's the ones in the room that did the dream board? And the ones that don't raise their hand, you got my answer, right? You just make my life much easier. So when you call me for free advice, you know why? Because you ain't contributing in your own life. How in the world are you going to contribute to my life? Come on, ladies and gentlemen. We got to stop being soft. We got to start setting a standard. You got to set a standard. What type of friends do you want in your life? Are they going to bring you to the point where you're going to be fulfilled and satisfied? I don't know who needs to hear that. Somebody pull the car over, start crying, start praying. Whatever you need to do, make a standard in your life. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know this is preaching. Come on. And the reason why is because I need to fulfill my own heart. There's this crazy thing about speaking in tongues. As in a church, I never understood speaking in tongues. That was my first time I ever went to church. It was crazy. People were speaking in tongues. I was like, this is crazy. This is psycho. I'm out. And then later in life, I learned about speaking in tongues, and it's like, what it is like you just start speaking in tongues, and it's fulfilling your heart, okay? It's speaking to your heart. It's like God speaking to we're speaking to you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, boy, you need to hear this. Something is in your heart that you got to drop that friend. You've got to raise that standard, and you got to go to the next level. What's so cool? I text several of my friends, some of my non-believer friends, that don't know Jesus, right? I got a few of those. I like them. Actually, they're legit. They're always, and what amazes me too is some of my non-believer friends, are the most integrity-driven people in the entire world. I mean, I watch them like a hawk, and I see how they operate. I see how they communicate. I see how they deal with tenants. I see above and beyond. So I text out this crazy goal. I want to give away 1 million to the church. And, my friend just texted me right back. He's like, do it. He doesn't even have a relationship with him, and he said, do it. That's what kind of friends you need. Friends that know your heart, that are going to be 100 beside you, behind you, for you, even if they don't even believe what they believe on their own. And that's the friends. That's the people that I coach. I coach people that don't know Christ. I don't care. That's not my job. But I support them, and I'm 100. I may not agree with everything, but I'm 100. So check yourself. Check your relationships. What's going down? Now, here's another one. I'm at wrestling with my son, and it's the first time back because I had surgery, and this dude sits next to me. And I like this dude. I do. I mean, I'm enthralled in this guy. Just his persona, his educational level, just his position in his job. I'm just fascinated with this dude. And the more I talk to him, the deeper I get in with this guy, and I hear about that he's owned rental property before, and he doesn't do it now. And then I found out that he was an entrepreneur, and I was like, wow. And he has a corporate job now. And it's actually a nonprofit corporate job, which scares me in general, nonprofit. I like nonprofits. I like to give to nonprofits. But I don't know if I want to be getting paid from a nonprofit. It just seems something's going to happen. But I was just talking to this dude, just man, connecting with this dude. And, a thought came to my mind. See, Stephen, you got to get out of your comfort zone. You got to raise your standard. You got to build relationships with other people. And you're too comfortable, VanCauwenbergh. It's time to step up out of your game. And I was talking to this dude, and he asked me this question. Now, the cool thing about this guy, he didn't know who I am. And, I told him about real estate. I didn't tell him this. I didn't tell him I'm savvy. I didn't say all this to this dude, right? I told him that I was later in the conversation, and it blew my mind that I told him that I wrote this book, and he really was trying to get back into real estate. It was the questions. It always turns into this, this real estate people. You start talking, everybody wants to be in real estate. Everybody, hairdresser all the way down to the nail tech. They want to be in real estate. And so I kind of just always get numb to this, and people just ask me questions about real estate. So, I mean, he had rental properties before, and he was asking me about the market. Where's it going? And I was like, bro, I just talked to some young kid the other day. I'm like, Oklahoma City is not going to slow down, and the prices are not going to get cheaper. So you might as well get into the game like yesterday. And so I think that struck a chord in his life. And he asked me this question that really just like, wow, I haven't had that question in a minute. He's like, how do you stay motivated? And the first thing that came to my mind was, man, this dude's hurting. Man, he's hurting. He's not motivated. Something's wrong. How could I serve this dude? What could I say? And I didn't even know what to say. Of course, just like this podcast, I don't even know what to say. Oh, God, why do you put this stuff in my face? How do I handle it? Because I could say something wrong that could derail him. I could hurt him. How could I? I was like, brother. And of course, VanCauwenbergh, I'm polarizing. I found that out 2 years ago. And then I don't know. I just say whatever I say. I just say what comes to mind. Well, how do I stay motivated? I read. I listen to music. I walk on the treadmill. If it's not the treadmill, I just I keep going forward. It's not easy, man. I fight depression all the time. And so I was like, I call a friend. You keep fighting. I put goals in my face. Like I just rewrote my goals, and I just taped them up on my window, on my mirror. And then I just try to keep things in front of me. I try to keep the prize in my eye, whatever that may be. Sometimes it works where, okay, I'm gonna use MyFitnessPal for 7 days, and after 7 days, I'm gonna get a new book. Or like I was looking at something the other day, I was like, okay, but then I'm like, man, I'm trying not to be a consumer. I'm trying not to buy stuff no more. I'm like, man, that's not gonna work. How else can I do? So I just gave this dude a bunch of stuff that's just random, like off the cuff. Like I don't even know what I said, and I was just kind of thrown off by the question. It was a great question. How do you stay motivated? How do you stay motivated? If you got a good way to stay motivated, brother, let your boy know. Let me tell you just quickly, I go, you need to walk, you need to do something physically, okay? And you need to change your environment. Like, if when I coach a lot of people back in the day, I always suggested, hey, when you work on your goals, go to a coffee shop, go somewhere where you've never been before, go to a library. Music works, dance music works. I'm telling you, it's off the chain music. Brian Tracy remix, Brian Tracy, just his stuff. One of my other homeboys was like, man, I just brought up Brian Tracy the other day, and he's like, I just bought a Brian Tracy. That's the kind of friend you need in your life. Someone that's on the same page as that you're on. Because when you have someone in the same kind of just understanding, it just makes life much better. So do that. Get your goals in your face. And then even write stuff down on your calendar. Like, sometimes I get numb to my calendar, but I put on my calendar, I was like, okay, 7 a.m., and I'm spend 10 minutes working on a new book. I'm writing a new book right now called 303 Questions. This has been a dream of mine. I'm tired of fooling around, but I've written 301 questions for real estate investors. I wrote 302 for questions for real estate investors. And I was like, I had this big dream, 1,000 questions. And it's cool because the questions that I'm writing now are questions I don't even know. Like, I'm seeking out the answers. I'm like, if I don't know this stuff, which I don't know a lot, I know someone else doesn't know, and this will benefit somebody else. And so I'm like, okay, can you dedicate 10 minutes a day or write 10 questions a day? And it works. That stuff motivates you. So anyway, after that conversation, I went home. The dude went and bought my book. And I was like, wow. And then he wrote me this awesome text message. And you just don't know. And now that dude motivated me. Now I'm amped the F up. I'm amped up. I'm so amped up. I'm doing a podcast that I don't want to do. I usually don't want to do. And that he benefited me and I benefited him. That's what it's about. That's what you need to do. That's how you stay motivated. Give somebody a call. I was just thinking today, I was just going through my list of like, man, what about this dude? I need to call him. It could be 10 minutes. It could be 5 minutes. It's amazing what you can do. All right. Now, number 3, reach out of your network. Okay. This is something, I've been in my little bubble for so long. I'm so frustrated about my bubble. My bubble that I'm in is not growing at the level that I want to grow at. And I'm like, I want to roll with people that make $1 billion. I'm like, I don't want to roll with Grant Cardone. I'm not about that flashy, nasty. But what I'm telling you right now, I want people that are doing it and they're doing it big. And I want to hang out with them. And so I had to get out of, I'm trying to get out of my network. I'm trying to build a bigger, better network. So again, you let your mind work. I was thinking, who could I call? So I called this one homeboy. And it was just this dude, I barely even know this guy. I mean, I know him. He's in my neighborhood. He just locked up a $5 million aviation contract with the government. I'm like, blew my mind. He bought a business and moved it from another state. I'm like, this dude, he is way more bigger than me. And then this is very fascinating. And it's not about being bigger, but he's just way more. I have so much respect for this dude because he has this engineer mind. He can rebuild anything. He works on car. This dude just excites me. But, there's a lot of things that we don't connect on. But I was like, I got to look beyond myself about what I want and how could I contribute and also reciprocate at the same time. And so that's the only way you're going to build your network. If you go in judging people like, oh, they ghetto, or you go in, because I'm ghetto. Like, I like to wear sweatpants all day. You know what I'm saying? Thank God Athleisure's back in this crib, because I started the athleisure thing back in 1990. But, 1988, people didn't know athleisure. I'm telling y'all, in East Bay, California, athleisure, Adidas was off the chain, Run DMC. Come on. You feel me? All right. But back to the focus, I called this dude, and I didn't even know what to say. I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking about doing this idea, and there's some engineering involved. I really, kind of want to sell these things. And he's like, yeah, man, let's meet. And he's like, let's meet Friday. I'm like, I didn't even ask him to meet. And he said, he's like, I'm closing this deal on Thursday. Friday morning, I got to do this, but let's get together Friday afternoon. And I'm like, he's in my neighborhood. I'm like, great. And this is giving me a reason to get home early. And see that I don't even know that's going to happen tomorrow, but I'm just saying, like, you get out of your just call somebody, and you just don't know what it is, what it's going to transpire. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you got to keep going. You got to keep trying. You got to reach out of your network and make it happen. Number 4, say thanks. You see a lot of stuff, a little gratitude stuff, but I'm telling you right now, which is really interesting, is like one of my clients posted on Facebook, I'm so thankful for Steve VanCauwenbergh, and it's just, it works, So I was talking to somebody else, someone else follows me and saw that, and it inspired them to do the same thing for somebody else. Some other coach was inspired by that. And I just think that this is what we need to do. Find somebody on your Facebook page and blow them up. Give them love. It might even be your wife. It might even be your child. You can put a disclaimer on there. Hey, my coach, VanCauwenbergh, Savvy, whatever name you want to call him. I don't give a rip. Say, hey, told me to do this. If you don't have the balls to say, I'm just going to call somebody out and say, I am thankful for you because you have done these things for me. It blew my mind. There's somebody on there that said, hey, I met VanCauwenbergh 5 years and I only had 10 units and now I have over 500 units. Now, I don't talk about that stuff to make myself look good, but when I really think about it, I remember him and I, we grinded it out. Him and I, we cried. Him and I, we make mistakes. Floods come and we lose several $100,000. I remember when Hurricane Harvey came through, dude called me up. I mean, he doesn't cry. Certain men don't cry, but I would be crying by now. This dude's like, oh God, this is like $450,000 and I didn't have insurance. I'm like, yo, man, you want me to drive down there? And it was really cool. Some of my other friends knew the pain and they were willing to rally. You just never know where you're going to go and who you're going to help and how you're going to get through it together. But through his pain, I've grown, and through my pain, he has grown. And it's an honor to be thanked because of the sacrifices that you make. There's somebody in your world right now that's hurting that needs to hear that you are thankful for them. What's their defining moment? And what's your defining moment? If you heard that podcast a couple weeks ago, whatever, I don't know, one day seems like a month in my mind, but the last podcast or two, it was like, what's the defining moment? What's the defining moment when you met that person? Was it in the middle of a RIA group and they walked up to you and said, hey, how are you? Or someone spent some time and sent you a contract, or somebody just did me a solid the other day. I was like, hey, man, I'm in need of a handyman. Would you mind giving me your hand? And it was like, he replied back, OG, cool kid. He's like, this dude's solid. Here you go. No questions asked. Didn't ask me, what are you going to do with this dude? Are you, because I have a few units. Am I going to take them away? No, that's how you serve. That's how you help people. And that's why I am thankful. Make sure you tell people that you're thankful. Number 5. Now, I don't know why this is on here, okay? But you need to pray for your enemies. You may not know Jesus, and listen, y'all, I'm not trying to be all Jesus up in this joint because I'm far from Jesus. I started cursing yesterday, and I'm like, I can't even release this book club thing. I just started because the subject had an F word bomb in there. Of course, I took the opportunity just to say it out loud, and that doesn't make me less of a person or less of a Christian or whatever. But I don't know what you think of me, but I'm nobody different than you. I'm just like you. I bleed just like you. I came from the hood just like you. Maybe you came from a silver spoon, but it really doesn't matter. But the reality is, this is something that really just struck a chord the other day. There's some busters in my life. There's a few, okay? And I would just be frustrated or mad, like, or see him on Facebook. Now, of course, I'm getting smarter. I'm just cutting people off on my Facebook page. That's one smart thing that I've done. I'm like, boom, I saw somebody post some sexual thing that was like out of control. Like if my daughter saw that or my son saw it, it was way too, boom, dude, I deleted you. See you. See you later, alligator. But I was thinking about this the other day, and I can't sleep in these last 2 days. I don't know what in the world is going on in my world, but for some, I'm not going to drink any kind of like caffeine item from like 1 o'clock on because something's wrong with me. But the thing is, every time I lay down, some of these enemies come to my mind. I'm like, how am I giving homage to these people that don't give a rip about me? And the Lord was like, you need to be praying for your enemies. I'm like, oh, okay. what is this going to do? It's going to soften my heart. So I'm telling you, there's an enemy in your world. I don't know who it is. It could be the government up at this mother. It could be you owe back taxes. It could be Section 8. It could be a specific tenant that will not pay their rent. And I got a few of those right now. What do I need to do? I need to give it up to Big G. Big Jesus, double G. I need to give it to him. Because over here, this is not a battle that I could win, right? Being angry, you'll never win. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but pray for your enemies. Even if they rub you wrong, it's okay. It's okay. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 is a number of completeness. That's funny. Number 6, level up for a gift for somebody. Basically bless them. I'm telling you, I remember this realtor drop shipped me. You guys heard this before, but this realtor knew that I was into RC cars, and this realtor, I hooked him up with a deal, and I didn't get no commission or no assignment fee. I just made it happen, and this dude drop shipped me to my crib a $200 or $300 RC car. I was like, wow, blew my mind. And then from there, this other dude hooked me up. This homeboy and friend of mine hooked me up with a roof, and I drop shipped him the same RC car. I'm like, why not? And if you followed me for these last couple years, you know I call it leveling up. My year 2021 is leveling up everything in my life. Quality of life, clothes, socks. I leveled up my socks, ladies and gents. Even my underwear too. I leveled up my underwear. I got bamboo underwear on. But the reality is, somebody in your world needs to be leveled up. What I'm saying is, like, you gonna bless somebody. Like, I got this baller realtor right now in the commercial world, and I don't connect with this dude. I'm telling you, I got something on a contract. He doesn't even email me for 6 weeks. We're not even homies. I got it on a contract. He'll email me, fully executed contract. Where do you want to close at? And that's it. That's the last time I see him. He just emailed me 6 weeks ago. Like a month later, he's like, hey man, are you all good to go to close? That's my kind of relationship with this dude. Now, I really would like to have an intimate relationship with this guy. I would like to like have coffee. You know, hey, let's grab a burger sometime. You know what I'm saying? And it got to be vegan somewhere. But I realized, I was thinking about the Christmas gifts I need to bless people with. And I'm like, I need to level this dude up. Not because I want him to do or be my friend or do more. No, you just need to wow people up in this mother. You need to give like, wow, it needs to sting a little bit. It needs to be 50. It needs to be 100. I had this feeling the other day. Someone in my network was getting married through some of my staff. Their son was getting married, one of my team players. And I was like, what I can't make it to the wedding. What's a good admirable gift? Now, when I was broke as a joke, I was like, $20, $25, but that sounds too cheap. Give them a $50, go to Target, get them a $50 item. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do $100, $100. And then I'm like, that's not how it goes anymore, VanCauwenbergh. That's not how you do it no more. You wow people. You go to the next. You level up. But God, I need this money. I need to buy it. Nope. So I broke off $250. Now, I don't know what happened with that $250. And I sent the money to these people. I don't even know them. But I know it made an impact in my staff, the mom, the lady that works for me. And sometimes you just got to sow some seeds when you have no idea what the return's going to be. Sometimes you just going to have faith that this is going to work. I'm going to trust you, Lord, with what I have, that you're not going to return void. And you're going to make it hot. You're going to make it big tenfold. So that's why I'm telling you today. You need to level up on your Christmas gift this year. I know it's COVID. I know you lost money because I'm telling you, I'm the first one that's been not taking it easy here. And I don't be talking about it because there's no point in me talking about my drama. There's no point in that people diss me. There's no point in people moving out. There's, can't pay, trash and stuff. It's just a daily grind of the real estate in the hood. But I know that I'm going to continue to give as until it hurts. And I need you to do the same thing. Someone needs to hear that one on this one. Give someone, basically bless them. I went and got my hair cut the other day. I go to this cheap place. It's $10. I used to tip $2. I used to tip $3. But then, I was like, man, how can I wow this person? So I've been always tipping $5. I know that's not a lot of money because some of y'all would just go get haircuts at Easy Clips or whatever for $15, and then you try to throw it in. So I was like, I'm gonna bring 20. I'm still gonna bring 20. I'm gonna double it up. Come to find out, I walk in there, and the girl that cuts my hair, she's in the hospital. She's in pain. Something's wrong with her lungs. And I was like, man. And so this other lady had to cut my hair. I was like, can you give the rest of this money to somebody else? And, because she's not making no money. Bless somebody. Bless your server. Bless somebody. I'm telling you, make you feel better about yourself because you contribute. Now, I know you're thinking, VanCauwenbergh, I got no money. I'm scraping it by. You can bless somebody with a letter. You can bless somebody with a phone call. You can bless somebody with a text message. You can bless somebody going on abooks.com, buying a $3.48 book about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, or Napoleon Hill, getting that book delivered to your crib. Now, it's going to take a little bit longer, 2 weeks, because it's slow mail. Get it and write somebody a letter saying you appreciate them. Now, we got 2 more left. I don't know what number we're on, but spend time turning your phone off and putting it on Do Not Disturb. What I want you to start working on, ladies and gents, is some time for yourself. Be selfish. Be 10 minutes. I noticed that I'm working on stuff, goals and dreams, and I write them down, and sometimes you just need to marinate on them. Sometimes I think you should just shut your phone off. At this time, I just shut my phone off. And no one can get a hold of me. No one can talk to me. I can't be distracted. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Some of y'all are being distracted. Some of y'all being distracted because of the sports team. Some of y'all being distracted because of Mike Tyson. I don't know what in the world. Now, that's cool. The Mike Tyson thing's cool and all, but, let it lie. Let it lie. It's over. The dude's a draw. There's no need to be talking about it no more. There's nothing you can do about it. So just move on. Just put the Do Not Disturb on. Just take a breath. There's this app called pauseapp.com, pauseapp.com. It's an app that I use. You can set it for 1 minute, 3 minutes, and you can just sit there and just listen to this cool music and just marinate. Now, sometimes it works. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes I'm distracted. Sometimes it takes me days to get up in that joint because it's not, I know I'm the one preaching right here, and then it sounds like, I got it all together. Ladies and gents, I do not have it all together. There's days where I miss my QT. There's times that I don't get it done right. There's sometimes I got to repent for being too short and flip it with somebody. But I know to keep you whole, you got to take a pause. You got to hit that Do Not Disturb button. That electronic device, I know for myself, it's addictive. I notice I'll just be picking it up for just random reasons. There's a commercial on a television, or my daughter's like, I'm gonna go brush my teeth, and I pick up my phone. No, come on, stay focused, stay engaged, get that mind thinking on your goals, thinking on your next move. How am I going to build a relationship with a banker? How can I build a relationship with a broker? How can I have a relationship with a wholesaler? What's a wholesaler in your world that you haven't communicated with? You heard about a name, and you can call them and reach out to them and get them outside your network. I know you need deals. You should be buying deals. How can you make it work? By thinking about it without being distracted. That's how you're going to do it. And then finally, I don't know what number this one is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. It's going to donate. Listen, find a way to help somebody. I don't know what that means, but I just wrote that down. Find a way to help somebody. When I found out about the lady with this girl, I've been getting my hair cut there for 20 years. Okay. And for 20 years, I just had a quick fun. They used to cut my mom's hair. That's how crazy this place is, right? And they only cut, I'm sad to say this, but they only cut men's hair. But my wife, they accepted my mom for some weird reason because my mom's gangster. And I've known these people for 20 years. I mean, it's just crazy. And and over the 20 years, in the first 3 years, they would never talk to me. And I invite friends to go get their hair cut there. And my friend's like, that place is whack. I mean, I got a good haircut, but they don't talk to you. I'm like, that's a barber shop. I mean, these are women. I don't know what do you want to do? And, so, and some of my friends like, man, I don't like that. I understand, man. It took me 3 years for them to even remember my name. But 20 years later, over time, I built a relationship with these people. Nothing serious. Like, I actually got the gal's cell phone number. And when I went in there, and I was like, yo, where's Cindy at? Oh, she's at the hospital. Her lung collapsed. I was like, what in the world? How does that happen? How's your lung collapse cutting some hair? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what is she doing? Like, what are you doing at night? And so, man, I was just thinking, man, how could I help? These people live all the way in Tuttle. They drive all the way to Tuttle, Oklahoma City to cut hair. And this is their blue collar. This is all they do. This is all they've been doing their whole life. So you got to find a way to help somebody. And so and her mom runs the shop, and her mom was telling me everything that's going on. She won't eat. All these problems. I'm like, man, I'm praying right there. And I'm like, first thing is, of course you can pray for somebody, but I think sometimes that's easy. That's kind of too easy in my mind. It's not real easy, but it's, I'm going to pray for you. Okay. Or my favorite is, what can I do to, no. What can I do to help? No. You need to think about, find a way to help them. And so I was like, Lord, how am I going to help this gal? First of all, she's not even in my circle. I don't even really know her, but why is she called up on me? And why are you asking me? What can I do? So I realized, all right, I'm going to go unnatural. And I'm just going to blow this chick up. I'm just going to text her. I'm going to get her address, and I'm going to write her a letter. And it's so crazy. And here's my things, and then we're going to end with this. But here's my deals. Hey, Cindy, your mom just told me about your lungs. I am praying for you. You got this. And so I was trying to find a way. How could I help her? Now, this gal I don't even have this kind of relationship, but I was like, man, I'm going to step over the threshold. And this girl, I used to text this girl a long time ago, and she would never respond to me. I mean, I'm serious. We had this relationship on like what's on sale, and she asked me when I went in there, and they know that I like technology. I'm looking for something for my son. What kind of watch should I buy? Blah, 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 right? I mean, it's always very surface, never intimate, but I'm like, I'm stepping over a boundary. And when you step over a boundary, this really could hurt somebody. And so I'm like, how do I find a way to help her? She's never responded to me. And her mom was telling me that she will not eat. She lost 20 pounds. She's desperate. She can't even move out of the chair. They went through this whole story of went to two, they thought it was her heart, but then they went to 2 heart doctors. It didn't work. And then eventually, after it was so painful for this gal, it was her lungs. And then they found out that these lungs collapsed and all this other jazz. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, how is this possible? So I texted her, hey, Cindy, your mom just told me about your lungs. And see, that's the thing. Find a way to help her. And she responds back, not lickety split, but she responds back about an hour, 2 hours later. And I'm like, oh, okay, we got some traction. And she goes, thanks, Stephen. Of course, I have to be 1% with no obvious cause. Of course, I have to be 1% with no obvious cause. How did your surgery? Now she puts it back on me. She knows about my slice and dice. I bet it's been great! Exclamation! I appreciate all your prayers. Thanks for thinking them in emojis. You got to think about it. This girl's alone. She can't even be with her family, and it's like murder. And she's replying back to me, and I go, "What was the biggest need?" The mom says the girl needs to eat. She's depressed. She's not eating. And I'm like, holy shit. How could I find a way to help her? And this is what's blowing in my mind. I'm like, how can I? So I was like, I'm good. Thanks for asking about my surgery. But I'm not the one that's at the epical pain here, can barely breathe, can't even eat, and so depressed and frustrated, can't even do what she loves to do, which is cut hair her whole life. And now she's jammed up in a chair. I go, I'm concerned for you! Exclamation. I'm good. This is me saying it to her, trying to find a way to be helpful. I go, I'm good. I am concerned for you. You must eat to heal faster. You need nutrition. And so then I was like, boom, I just Googled up nutrition, how to heal, and I found an article. And this girl texts me back. She goes, thanks. So I was like, okay. Hey, man, that's where most people stop. Oh, I did my job. I found a way to help her. Thank you for the Lord for giving me the wisdom to find this article on nutrition. This article says, and I hope that she read it, because I was talking to her mom. I'm like, listen, whatever you say, Mom, she's not going to listen. And I can't say nothing to her because I don't even know her. Yeah, I know her. She knows me. She can recognize me on the street, but she don't know that I'm savvy. She don't know nothing about me. She knows a little bit about me. She don't, But how can you? So I was like, how did I find a way to help her? Not me, but let the article speak to her. That sometimes you just have to suggest something to somebody. Sometimes you just have to send them a book. And I would be cautious on sending somebody the book, but you might just need to reference a book, or you might need to quote a book. Or like I do on the internet. If you follow me on Facebook, a lot of my friends are like, man, what's going on with you? All these quotes. I'm reading. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to set the standard for you to be reading. If you want to be at the next level in your life, you got to spend an hour a day reading. And I'm talking about reading all kinds of stuff, from philosophy to the Bible to making money books. That's the books I'm reading right now, how to make money. And so I was like, okay. So, in my mind, I would have just dropped this chick off and I'm good. I'm on to the next. But nope, the girl keeps coming to my mind. So the next day, I go, this is yesterday or today, actually. I go, did you eat today? ? See, it's burning in my heart. I'm like, her mom says this gal has to eat and she's getting frail. If she doesn't eat and I think the depression is killing her, she gonna die. That's how I look at it. And I'm like, how can I be the catalyst in her life? So I say, did you eat today? ? I need you to be strong. And that was that was yesterday at 9:00, 8:21. And then no response. See, I'm telling you, I'm relentless. You need to be relentless. Somebody needed to hear that right now. You ain't relentless enough, because I don't take no for an answer. Until you tell me no, I'm not going to take no. Until they cut my legs off, I'm out. I'm telling you, I'm going to go down relentless. How bad do you want it? I got a sticker. I'm about to get that tattooed on me. So today at 9:30, she's on my mind. And see, most people just blow this stuff off. Man, when God brings someone and puts somebody on your mind, on your heart, you need to activate. You need to participate. You need to take action on whatever that is. Like I said earlier, you need to pray for your enemies. If an enemy comes to your mind, you need to pray for that enemy. And I'm not saying enemy like a destructive enemy. I'm like somebody you just don't like. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to take no for an answer. So at 9:30, 9:29 a.m., I said, this is, again, I'm not some gifted person here. I'm just trusting whatever comes in my heart. And I said, we need you. Sue needs you. That's her mom. Your grandkids need you. You must eat. You need nutrition. And I'm praying for you. And again, she didn't respond to me yesterday. She's slow responding. And this is what she said. Stephen, you're a great friend. Now, come on. What am I doing? I'm just sending some text messages to someone I casually know, a surface relationship. Stephen, you're a great friend emoji. I'm back at the hospital. The lung that was damaged now has a large abscess to it. So I'll be here, I guess. We love your uplifting spirit and loving your heart. Thanks for dropping in on my mom. I appreciate you. See, I was just going to stop with the last text message. See, but you got to go relentless. The other side, read the book, The Dip. You got to push through to the other side. Someone is on the other side that they need you to carry them to the next point. So when you would have just did the easy minimum and just sent the one text message, yeah, I'm praying for you, yeah, whatever, or to ask me if I could serve you. See, that's a lot. I remember when we went through some pain and people were like, if you need anything, let me know. People never going to ask you for something. So don't even say that if you need something. No, you need to do something. Find a way to help somebody. Now, let me tell you something. This is painful for me because I got myself in this deal, and how do I help her? So I didn't even know what to say. And so my first thing was like, all right, where's this hospital at? I need to go big. I need to go get some balloons. I need to show up at this joint. And but then I'm like, these people don't even know me. I'm going to roll up on the hospital with some balloons. Like, I don't even have this gal's address. Like, how am I going to? So then I was like, man, what do I say? What do I do? How do I operate? So I just replied back with, I'm so sorry. I'm praying. And for real, I am. I'm sorry. I'm praying. Now listen, again, you got to push through, VanCauwenbergh. You got to go where you don't want to go. You got to get in your car. You got to get back, find out where this chick's at, and you got to go 100. Some people just need to know that you care for them. Even, I know it's possible through electronic device, like a cell phone or maybe even a video chat. But sometimes you're going to have to go get some balloons and you're going to have to drop them off. I challenge you, find some way to help somebody. It could be in your network. It could be a student. It could be the cat on the side of the road playing games with signs, asking for some money to get high. Whatever it is, find somebody out there that needs help. If you need help, you got my number, you got my name, you know who I am. Let your boy know. Appreciate you.
Thanks for listening to the Savvy Radio Show. Glide online and listen to our other motivating episodes at savvyradioshow.com. Connect on Twitter at LandlordBook and always be buying assets.